Hi, I'm Steven the Pet Man, bringing you the truth in pet food. So today I want to review this Nature's Variety Homestyle. This particular variety is salmon and wild rice stew, but Homestyle makes a whole bunch of different variety, from beef to chicken, again to salmon. They've got about 7 or 8 of them. So this review is basically for all the Homestyles, because all they do, they keep the same basic formulation, they just switch out the meat as a different variety, and they have a whole bunch of different available stews. But so when I review this, you can be assured that it's a review of the entire Homestyle line from Nature's Variety. The proof is always in the ingredients, so let's go and start and look at these ingredients and really see if this is something that you'll want to feed your dog. So the first ingredient we come upon is salmon broth. Salmon broth, as is typical in these kind of canned foods, it's nutritionally empty, but you need to provide moisture in the can. So they use a salmon broth here. If this was a chicken variety, they use a chicken broth. If it was beef, it would use the beef broth. So they vary the broth. I suppose it's better than water, but again, it is relatively nutritionally empty. Next down is salmon. So this is the flesh and the skin. It's supposed to be clean flesh and skin. The only issue I would have, or question I would have, is where does this salmon come from? We know it's not wild salmon because they would probably say like wild Alaskan salmon or something like that. They don't, so I'm going to assume that it's farmed salmon. It's not my favorite, but given that we want to keep the manufacturer wants to keep the cost at a certain place, they're going to use farmed salmon. I'm okay with it. Chicken is the next ingredient. That again is the flesh and skin of the chicken. It's nutritionally sound. It provides all the amino acids. Fine, healthy for a dog. And we go down one more and we're at chicken liver, which again, this is an organ meat. Fine, no issues. If it's healthy, clean organ meat, that's very beneficial to the dog. After that, we've got egg whites. Now, egg whites are highly digestible, and they're also a good source of protein. So again, we've got another decent ingredient. As we keep going down the list, the concentrations get smaller and smaller, but they're continuing to be fine. And even the next one, you know, is potato starch. Some people are like, oh, that's just a starch. But this is a carbohydrate. It does help keep energy in your dog. It certainly thickens the formulation. I don't have an issue. If it was the first or second ingredient, I would, but now we're talking about like the 6th ingredient. Next is wild rice. Again, this is good because it's a complex carbohydrate. It's going to give sustained energy to your dog. And as we continue down, these matter less. Once we get to the 7th or 8th ingredient, the smaller concentrations, they don't matter a lot, but we've got spinach, carrots, celery, oat fiber. This is all good stuff. I'm absolutely fine with this formulation all the way through. The only exception I would take is further down in the list is egg product. And egg product I take exception to only because it could be the egg and shells off the floor of factory. I don't love it, but again, because it's so far down, I'm not going to worry about it. The only other thing that I don't like is sodium. Adding sodium, sometimes, of course, it makes it more palatable to the dog, but I don't believe you really need to add more salt to the dog's diet. Salt is necessary, but there's already so much salt in things like the chicken liver that it's not necessary to add more salt. So overall, I'm going to give this a keep it score because I think it is a decent quality food. I think it is a food that you can feed safely to your dog and feel like they're getting everything that they should. The only thing that I would say is that this is a salmon version. They have like 8 different versions, and you may want to sort of use one and then try another and introduce another and kind of keep a bit of variety for your dog. So again, Homestyle, Nature's Variety, good stuff. But we're going to open it up so that you can see what it looks like, because I always do that at the end of my reviews. And so we got something that's kind of thick, and it kind of has like a gravy look to it. It's a very, let's see what this kind of looks like. See now, this actually smells appetizing. I mean, I'm a vegan, so it doesn't smell appetizing to me. But as far as it doesn't smell bad, sometimes you open up these foods and you're like, whoa, that's a little too much. And this actually looks good. I see some carrots in here. Overall, I like the consistency. So this is my kind of keeper, my first keeper review. I like it. I think it's safe for you to use this with your dog. And I'm Steven the Pet Man, and I thank you for watching.